class?
Cova. Cova is a learning, well, call it an educational platform that stands for choice, ownership, voice, and authenticity. And the overall point being, if we give students, or we give even people, it doesn't have to be a student per se, choice, ownership, voice over their learning, what you will end up getting is an authentic product. Now, I don't have the 8-year-old in the camera for cuteness points because I don't think the rubric has cuteness points, but it does venture a point. I'm a mom. I've got one here playing the Kindle, one singing in her bed when she's supposed to be napping, dishes in my sink, toys all over my living room floor, and I'm making a video for a master's course. My classroom is not perfectly designed. There's stacks of paper. Put it up, Judah. There's stacks of paper. My lesson plans are all electronic. I keep an electronic grade book. I don't write grades down. I keep an electronic grade book. It's my way of doing things. It works for me. In this mess that is my house, I can tell you where his favorite toy is. I can tell you where her favorite shirt is. I can tell you what bills have been paid and what haven't. I know what dishes are in the sink. I know what we're having for dinner the whole week. I know what I'm doing in my classroom tomorrow and for the whole 6 weeks. I can find that piece of paper that's somewhere. The way I run my classroom, the way I run my home works for me. Now you take another person and their classroom might be pristine. We pick on math teachers about this all the time in my school. They have their stacks of papers. They can do the entire 6 weeks in one swoop. Their classroom is always clean. Their passes are in alphabetical order or chronological order based on when they were called. And they are very logical and organized, and they can't function any other way. They come into my room and they go insane. I go into their room and I don't want to touch anything. It's too sterile. I know a mother of 7 kids, and her house is always clean because it's a priority for her. Her house needs to be clean in order for her to think. Now, it doesn't mean she doesn't spend time with her kids. It doesn't mean she's a bad mom, but the way she does things, she needs a clean house. That is the beauty of Cova, because whether I have 7 stacks of papers or 1, whether I write my grades by hand or online, the teaching gets done. The good, authentic teaching gets done. And what gets done is those kids learn. And those kids watch me enjoy my job because I'm doing it by choice. I'm doing what I want. My house. My husband and I don't care if there's toys on the floor. It does not bother us. It's the house we run. It works for us. For other people, it doesn't. Because it works for us, if I tried to keep my house pristine, I would stay completely stressed out. This works for me, and so our family is very real. I can't make a video today without an 8-year-old at my side. He's not leaving my side today. I don't know why, but he's not doing it. That's life. That's the authenticity piece. It's real. It is what it is. Students need that. They have choice in their life. They have voice, and when they have ownership, they will do more. And the fear among teachers is always, well, if I give them choice, they're going to choose the bottom denominator. And I have found that that's not the case. When you give them choice, they pick what appeals to their strengths. So in doing so, they do more. I had a student who was supposed to create a project, had to have some kind of poster. He can't draw. He don't like to draw. So he comes to me and he goes, "Hey, Miss McKeechin, can I make a Minecraft level?" Go for it. So what I got, instead of a big presentation about Zeus and all his symbols, was a Minecraft level with real thunder, well, real for a video game, the depiction of Zeus, the quotes, everything I needed in a Minecraft. He went home and did it. I didn't have to fight him for it. This child also had some severe anxiety. And everything leading up to this, we had a bunch of panic attacks on the phone with mom, a whole bunch, because he couldn't do it. As soon as he could do a Minecraft level, finished. Critical thinking, upper blooms, all done perfectly. Why do we take that away from students and say that they can't have that voice, that ownership? Hold on, bud. Hold on, bud. Why do we do that? Why can't they have some choice? Now, it needs to be guided choice. The thing on Cova is an insanely good model, and it models for them being independent, taking ownership of their learning, and giving a product that's authentic.
I'm gonna go and order.
With any child, there has to be expectations. There has to be expectations. And a lot of times we assume kids know what they don't. So, like, I know better than to sit, I'm in my living room making this video, but I know to be dressed decently. I know to have my hair fixed. And yes, the boy's in the picture, but what can I do? They need to be told those things. So they need some more expectations than us. But I think if this model is implemented right and appropriately with the right guidance and expectations, this is a great thing, especially for your children who are special education and ELLs, because then they can do things that go around their barriers, not for them. Not in front of them. They can work around their barriers. So if they have a specific learning disability in reading comprehension, so they don't do well on a multiple choice test, but they can do a PowerPoint where they can answer all the questions. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving them that option and letting them learn to not go around their disability, but to cope with their disability? Because once we put them out in the real world, no one is going to tell these kids, oh, I'm sorry, you have a specific learning disability. You don't have to do that. One of my colleagues, who's now an assistant principal, she said a great thing to me once. She said, I'll give somebody a stool so they can reach the stove, but I'm not going to be okay with them making half a burger. That makes sense. So we now teach them the coping mechanisms they need in the real world, how you go around your disability. Okay, so your boss wants a 10-page report? Ask them, can it be a 20-slide PowerPoint? And if that makes more sense to you, then do it. Just like this video, I didn't want to type all this up. I wanted to do a video. I like videos better than typing out blogs. So I do what works for me. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, there are things you have to do. For example, I'm going to have to upload this to get credit, which means I'm going to have to know how to upload this. And kids have to be taught those things. They know how to Facebook, they know how to Twitter, they know how to do that, but sometimes they don't know the basic computer things. Those have to be taught. But when the end result is something they picked, they own, they have themselves in, you're going to get something authentic. You're going to get something real. You're going to get something higher thinking. We have to step away from this idea that it's all on us. We do the teaching, they do the learning. We're responsible for giving the information and modeling the skills, but they're responsible for the learning. If we make them responsible for the learning, they'll do the learning. If we keep trying to make it our way or the highway, they're not going to learn anything.
Are you going to take my pizza? Stop it. Stop it.
We now have to go find a pizza.
Stop.